How money actually grows. The truth, most people never learn about wealth. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to get richer every year, while others work harder and harder but never seem to get ahead? The answer is not luck, it is not intelligence, and it is not even how much money they earn. The real answer is understanding how money actually grows. Most people spend years learning how to make money. Very few people learn how to grow money, and that difference changes everything. Today, we're going to explore one of the most important financial lessons you will ever hear. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the wealthy think differently about money, how small amounts can become large fortunes, and why time is often more valuable than income. Let's begin. Imagine two friends. Both are 25 years old. Both have decent jobs. Both earn roughly the same salary. The first friend spends nearly everything he earns. Whenever his income increases, his lifestyle increases too. A bigger apartment, a newer car, more expensive vacations, better gadgets. The second friend lives a little differently. He enjoys life. He travels. He buys things he likes. But he consistently saves and invests part of every paycheck. Not a huge amount, just enough to make it a habit. Fast forward 20 years. The first friend has earned hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yet he has very little wealth. The second friend has also earned hundreds of thousands of dollars, but now he owns investments that continue producing more money every year. The difference isn't income, the difference is growth. This is where many people misunderstand money. Most people believe wealth comes from earning. In reality, wealth comes from what happens after you earn. Money grows in three major stages. The first stage is saving. The second stage is investing. The third stage is compounding. Let's talk about each one. Saving is where growth begins. Think of saving as planting seeds. A farmer cannot expect a harvest if no seeds are planted. Likewise, you cannot expect financial growth if nothing is set aside. Many people say they will save whatever is left over at the end of the month. The problem is that there's usually nothing left. Expenses expand to consume income. This is why successful savers often reverse the process. They save first, then spend what's left. Even small amounts matter. $10, $20, $50. The amount is less important than the habit, because habits create consistency, and consistency creates opportunities. But saving alone has a problem. Inflation. Inflation is the silent force that reduces purchasing power over time. Imagine leaving $100 under your mattress for 10 years. The number stays the same, but what that money can buy becomes less and less. This is why simply saving isn't enough. Money needs to work, and that's where investing comes in. Investing is giving your money a job. Instead of sitting idle, your money begins producing additional money. Think about it this way. Every dollar you invest becomes a tiny employee. At first, you may only have a few employees, but over time, they grow into a workforce. Each dollar works around the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even while you sleep, even while you're on vacation, even while you're watching this video. That's the power of investing. Now let's discuss the most powerful force in personal finance, compounding. Many financial experts have called compounding the eighth wonder of the world, and for good reason. Compounding happens when your money earns returns, and then those returns begin earning returns too. Imagine rolling a snowball down a hill. At first, it grows slowly, almost unnoticeably, but as it gets larger, it collects more snow. Then even more. Eventually, the growth becomes dramatic. Money works the same way. In the beginning, progress feels slow, very slow, sometimes frustratingly slow. This is why many people quit too early. They don't see immediate results. They expect rapid growth. But compounding rewards patience. The greatest gains often happen later, not earlier. Consider a simple example. Person A starts investing at age 25. Person B waits until age 35. Both invest the same amount every month. Person A often ends up with significantly more wealth, not because they invested more money, but because they gave compounding more time. Time is the secret ingredient. The wealthy understand something that many people overlook. Money needs time. You cannot force a tree to grow overnight. You cannot force wealth to appear instantly. Growth happens gradually, then suddenly. This is why financial success often looks invisible at first. For years, it may seem like nothing is happening. Then one day, the results become impossible to ignore. Most people see the success. They don't see the years of patience behind it. Let's talk about a common mistake. People often focus entirely on earning more income. Now, don't misunderstand. Increasing income is valuable, but earning more money alone doesn't guarantee wealth. Many high-income earners struggle financially. At the same time, some moderate income earners build significant wealth. Why? Because income creates potential. Behavior creates results. If every pay raise immediately becomes new spending, financial growth remains limited. But if part of every increase is invested, wealth accelerates. This brings us to another important lesson. Your lifestyle should grow slower than your income. This single principle has created countless millionaires. When income rises, save and invest part of the increase before adjusting your lifestyle. That gap becomes the engine of future wealth. Think of wealth as a tree. The fruit represents spending. The tree represents assets. Many people focus entirely on eating the fruit. The wealthy focus on growing bigger trees, because bigger trees produce more fruit every year, without destroying the tree itself. That's a completely different way of thinking, and it changes everything. Now here's something even more interesting. Money growth is not only mathematical, it's psychological. Many financial mistakes happen because emotions interfere with logic. Fear, greed, impatience, comparison. These emotions can destroy years of progress. People panic when markets fall. They become overly excited when prices rise. They chase trends. They abandon plans. They react emotionally. Successful investors often do the opposite. They remain disciplined. They follow proven principles. They understand that short-term fluctuations are normal because they focus on long-term growth. And that mindset makes all the difference. The journey to wealth is rarely exciting every day. In fact, it's often boring. Save consistently. Invest consistently. Stay patient. Repeat. Year after year. That may not sound dramatic, but that's it. Part 2. The wealth-building mistakes most people make. Now that we understand saving, investing, and compounding, let's look at why so many people never experience the full power of money growth. The truth is that building wealth is not complicated, but it is easy to get distracted. One of the biggest financial mistakes people make is confusing assets with liabilities. At first glance, they may look the same. Both cost money, both can be expensive, both may even impress other people. But one puts money into your pocket, the other takes money out. An asset generates income or increases in value over time. A liability costs you money to maintain. Understanding this difference can completely change your financial future. Imagine two people receive a bonus of $5,000. The first person buys the newest smartphone, designer clothes, and luxury accessories. The second person invests the money into assets. 5 years later, the first person's purchases are worth very little. The second person's assets may have grown significantly. The same money, two completely different outcomes. This is one of the reasons wealthy individuals often think differently. Before spending money, they ask a simple question: will this make me richer or poorer? That doesn't mean they never enjoy life. It doesn't mean they never buy nice things. It simply means they prioritize assets before luxuries, because they understand a powerful principle. Assets buy luxuries. Luxuries rarely buy assets. Let's talk about another mistake: trying to get rich quickly. This temptation has existed for generations. People search for shortcuts, secret strategies, guaranteed investments, overnight success. But wealth rarely arrives that way. In fact, most financial disasters begin with the promise of easy money. Whenever someone promises extraordinary returns with little risk, caution is essential. Real wealth building is usually slower than people hope, but it is also more reliable. Think about planting an orchard. A farmer doesn't plant seeds on Monday and expect a forest by Friday. Growth takes time. The same applies to money. The individuals who become financially successful often embrace patience. They understand that consistency beats excitement, again and again, year after year. This brings us to one of the most powerful concepts in finance: ownership. The wealthy focus on owning things, not just consuming things. Think about the products you use every day, the coffee you drink, the apps on your phone, the stores where you shop. the companies whose products fill your home. Millions of customers spend money with these businesses, but the owners benefit from every transaction. This is an important mindset shift. Most people spend money with companies. Investors own pieces of companies. One side pays, the other side participates in growth. The difference may seem small, but over decades it can be enormous. Imagine owning a tiny piece of hundreds of successful businesses. As those businesses grow, your investments may grow too. You don't need to run the companies. You don't need to manage employees. You simply participate as an owner. This concept has helped countless people build long-term wealth. Now let's discuss passive income. The term is often misunderstood. Many advertisements make passive income sound effortless, as if money magically appears without any work. Reality is different. Most passive income requires effort up front. You invest money, you build a business, you create something valuable. Then over time, income may continue flowing with less direct involvement. Think of passive income as planting a tree. The planting requires work, the watering requires work, the maintenance requires work. But eventually the tree produces fruit, and that fruit can continue for years. The goal isn't to avoid work. The goal is to create systems that continue generating value. This is how many wealthy people think. Instead of asking, "How can I earn more money today?" they often ask, "How can I create something that continues producing value tomorrow?" That question changes everything because it shifts focus from transactions to systems. Now let's talk about debt. Debt itself is not always good or bad. It's a tool. And like any tool, its value depends on how it's used. A hammer can build a house or break a window. Debt works the same way. Some debt helps acquire productive assets. Other debt funds consumption. The challenge is understanding the difference. Many people borrow money to purchase things that lose value. Then they spend years paying for items they no longer use. Meanwhile, those payments reduce their ability to invest. Every dollar committed to unnecessary debt is a dollar that cannot compound. This is why managing debt is such an important part of financial growth. Not because debt is evil, but because every financial decision involves trade-offs. Money can only go in one direction at a time, toward consumption or toward growth. Let's look at another hidden obstacle: comparison. Social media has made comparison easier than ever. Every day people see luxury cars, luxury vacations, luxury homes, and seemingly perfect lifestyles. What they often don't see are the loans, the stress, the financial struggles, or the sacrifices behind those images. Comparing your financial journey to someone else's can be dangerous because appearances are often misleading. True wealth is frequently invisible. Many wealthy people don't look wealthy. They drive ordinary vehicles, live below their means, and invest quietly for years. Meanwhile, some people who appear wealthy are struggling financially behind the scenes. This is why focusing on your own progress is essential. Financial growth is not a competition. It's a personal journey. The goal isn't to impress strangers. The goal is to create freedom. Freedom to make choices. Freedom to handle emergencies. Freedom to spend time with people you love. Freedom to pursue opportunities. Money itself isn't the ultimate goal. What money provides is options, and options create freedom. Now let's discuss another important concept: the difference between being rich and being wealthy. Many people assume these words mean the same thing, but they are very different. Being rich often refers to income. Being wealthy refers to assets. A person earning $500,000 per year may appear rich, but if they spend nearly everything they earn, their wealth may be limited. Another person may earn far less, yet own investments, businesses, and assets that continue growing. Over time, that person may become significantly wealthier. Income can disappear. Assets can continue working. This distinction is crucial because wealth is not measured by what you spend. It is measured by what you own. As we continue this journey, one lesson becomes increasingly clear. Money grows best when you stop treating it like a reward and start treating it like a worker. Every dollar has potential. Every dollar can be assigned a job. Some dollars buy experiences. Some dollars pay bills. Some dollars invest in the future. The most successful wealth builders intentionally direct their money rather than wondering where it went. And that habit compounds just like investments do. Small decisions, repeated consistently, over many years, creating results that seem extraordinary from the outside, but are actually built on simple principles repeated again and again. And in the next part, we're going to uncover perhaps the most powerful secret of all: why time matters more than money, why ordinary people can outperform high earners, and how a few simple habits can completely transform your financial future. How money actually grows at part 3, why time is more powerful than money. So far, we've explored saving, investing, compounding, assets, ownership, and the common mistakes that prevent people from building wealth. Now we're about to discuss the factor that may be more important than all of them combined: time. Most people underestimate the power of time because they cannot see it working. When you invest for a week, nothing seems to happen. When you invest for a month, the results still appear small. Even after a year, the progress may not feel life-changing. This is where many people lose patience. They quit before the magic begins. The problem is that compounding doesn't grow in a straight line. It grows exponentially. In the early years, growth appears slow. Later, growth accelerates dramatically. Imagine a tiny snowball rolling down a mountain. At first, it barely changes. Then it gets slightly larger. Then larger still. Eventually, it becomes massive. That's how wealth grows. Not all at once, but little by little. Then suddenly. This is why starting early is one of the greatest financial advantages anyone can have. Consider two people. One begins investing at age 25. The other waits until 40. The younger investor doesn't necessarily earn more money. They simply give their money more years to grow. And those extra years can make an enormous difference. Many people believe they need a huge amount of money to become wealthy, but often they need more time, not more money. This should be encouraging, because while income may be limited, everyone can begin building better financial habits today. Even small investments matter. Even small savings matter. The amount is less important than developing the habit, because habits become systems, and systems create results. Let's talk about millionaire habits. When people imagine millionaires, they often picture luxury yachts, private jets, and extravagant lifestyles. But research has repeatedly shown something surprising. Many millionaires live fairly ordinary lives. They focus on long-term decisions. They budget. They invest consistently. They avoid unnecessary debt. And they prioritize financial independence over appearances. Their secret isn't usually brilliance, it's consistency. They do ordinary things extraordinarily well. They save when others spend. They invest when others hesitate. They stay patient when others panic. And over decades, those choices create remarkable outcomes. This reveals an important truth. Wealth building is less about intelligence and more about behavior. You don't need to predict the future perfectly. You don't need to find the next miracle investment. You don't need to be a financial genius. You need discipline. Discipline often beats talent when talent lacks consistency. Let's explore another important idea. Delayed gratification. Imagine a child offered two choices: one cookie right now, or two cookies if they wait 20 minutes. Many children choose the first option. It's immediate, it's easy, it's available now. Adults face the same challenge with money every day: spend now or invest for a larger reward later. The ability to delay gratification has a powerful impact on financial success. Every investment represents a choice between present consumption and future opportunity. The people who consistently choose future opportunity often experience greater financial freedom later in life, not because they are lucky, but because they understand the value of patience. Now let's address something many people worry about. What if I start too late? Perhaps you're listening to this and thinking, I wish I had started years ago. That's a common feeling, but dwelling on the past doesn't build wealth. Taking action does. The second best time to start is now, because every year you delay is a year compounding cannot work for you. The future is built from today's decisions, not yesterday's regrets. This mindset shift is incredibly important. Successful investors focus on what they can control. They cannot control the past. They cannot control market fluctuations. They cannot control economic headlines, but they can control their behavior, their savings rate, their investment strategy, their spending habits, and their patience. These factors matter far more than many people realize. Let's talk about fear. Fear keeps countless people from investing. Fear of losing money, fear of making mistakes, fear of uncertainty. These fears are understandable, but avoiding all risk often creates a different risk, the risk of never growing your money at all. Every meaningful opportunity carries some uncertainty. The goal isn't to eliminate risk. The goal is to manage it wisely. Think about crossing a road. There is risk, but you reduce that risk by looking both ways and following safe practices. Investing works similarly. You don't blindly jump into opportunities. You educate yourself. You diversify. You think long-term, and you remain disciplined. Now let's discuss one of the biggest misconceptions about wealth. Many people believe wealthy individuals have a completely different life from everyone else, but often the difference begins with small choices. Choosing to save instead of spend, choosing to invest instead of delay, choosing consistency over excitement, choosing patience over instant gratification. These decisions may seem insignificant in the moment, but over decades they create vastly different outcomes. Financial success rarely comes from one giant decision. It usually comes from thousands of small decisions made correctly over time. Imagine steering a ship. Changing the direction by just a few degrees may seem insignificant today, but after traveling thousands of miles, the destination becomes completely different. Money works the same way. Small improvements, repeated consistently, lead to extraordinary results. This is why habits are so powerful. Habits remove the need for constant motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Habits remain. A person who automatically saves and invests every month doesn't need to make the same decision repeatedly. The system does the work, and systems create consistency. Consistency creates growth. Growth creates freedom. Now let's talk about freedom itself. Many people think wealth is about buying expensive things, but the greatest benefit of wealth is often something much simpler: choice. The ability to choose where you work, the ability to choose how you spend your time, the ability to handle unexpected challenges without panic, the ability to help family members when they need support, the ability to pursue opportunities that align with your values. These freedoms are often far more valuable than luxury purchases. Money is not the destination. Freedom is. Money is simply one of the vehicles that can help you get there. As your investments grow, something remarkable happens. You begin relying less on active effort and more on accumulated assets. Your money starts contributing to your future. This is where the journey becomes exciting, because every dollar invested today has the potential to support future versions of yourself. The choices you make now can create opportunities years from today. That's the true beauty of compounding. It's not just money growing. It's possibilities growing. It's freedom growing. It's options growing. And when you understand that, investing becomes about far more than numbers. It becomes about building a better future. In the next part, we'll bring everything together. We'll reveal how ordinary people can create extraordinary wealth, the practical steps you can begin today, and the powerful lesson that separates dreamers from doers. Because understanding money is valuable, but taking action is what changes lives. How money actually grows. Part 4, turning knowledge into wealth. We've talked about saving. We've talked about investing. We've talked about compounding, ownership, patience, and time. Now comes the most important part: action. Because knowledge alone doesn't create wealth. Action does. Every year, millions of people read books about money, watch videos about money, listen to podcasts about money, and yet their financial situation never changes. Why? Because information without action is entertainment. Transformation happens when knowledge becomes behavior. Imagine standing at the base of a mountain. You can study maps, read guidebooks, watch videos of other climbers. But eventually, you must take the first step. Building wealth works the same way. At some point, you must begin. Not perfectly, just consistently. Many people delay because they think they need the perfect plan, the perfect investment, the perfect market condition, the perfect moment. But perfection is often the enemy of progress. The people who succeed financially are not necessarily the smartest. They are often the ones who start and then continue, even when progress feels slow, even when results are invisible, even when others doubt them. Let's imagine a simple scenario. Two people decide to improve their financial future. The first spends years waiting for the perfect opportunity. The second starts with what they have: a small amount, a simple plan, a commitment to consistency. 10 years later, who is likely to be further ahead? Usually the person who started, because wealth rewards action, not intention. This brings us to one of the most important financial truths you'll ever hear. You do not need to be extraordinary to build wealth. You need to be consistent. That's it. Consistency is the bridge between goals and results. Most people overestimate what they can achieve in a month and underestimate what they can achieve in 10 years. The difference is patience. Think about learning a language, building muscle, growing a business, or mastering a skill. None of these happen overnight, yet we accept that reality. For some reason, many people expect money to be different. They expect immediate results. When those results don't appear, they quit. But wealth follows the same laws as every meaningful achievement. Small actions, repeated over long periods, create extraordinary outcomes. Now let me tell you a story. Imagine a young worker starting their first job. They don't earn a huge salary. They aren't a financial expert. They don't come from wealth. But every month they save a little. Every month they invest a little. Nothing dramatic happens. The first year looks ordinary. The second year looks ordinary. Even the fifth year looks fairly ordinary. Friends around them buy expensive things, upgrade lifestyles, chase appearances. Sometimes they wonder if they're missing out. But they stay consistent. Years pass. Then something remarkable happens. Their investments begin generating meaningful growth. Their assets start producing more income. Opportunities begin appearing. Financial stress decreases. Choices increase. Freedom expands. People look at their success and say, "You're lucky." But luck wasn't the reason. The reason was years of invisible discipline, years of choices nobody noticed, years of consistency. This is how wealth is often built. Quietly, gradually, patiently. The world celebrates outcomes, but wealth is usually created during the process. The daily habits, the monthly investments, the disciplined decisions, the moments when nobody is watching. And that's actually good news, because it means financial success is accessible to more people than they realize. You don't need to win the lottery. You don't need a miracle. You don't need perfect timing. You need a plan. You need patience. And you need persistence. Let's make this practical. If someone wanted to start today, what could they do? First, understand where your money is going. Awareness creates control. Second, spend less than you earn. Simple. Not always easy, but essential. Third, build an emergency fund. Financial stability creates confidence. Fourth, invest consistently, not occasionally, consistently. Fifth, continue learning. Financial education compounds just like money does. And finally, think long-term. The future belongs to those who can remain patient while others become distracted. Now let's return to the original question. How does money actually grow? Money grows when it is saved. Money grows when it is invested. Money grows when time is allowed to do its work. Money grows when discipline replaces impulse. Money grows when assets are prioritized over appearances. Money grows when consistency beats emotion. And perhaps most importantly, money grows when people stop looking for shortcuts and start building foundations. Because real wealth is not created overnight. It is created one decision at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 year at a time, until one day the results become impossible to ignore. If there's one lesson to remember from this entire video, let it be this. Your future financial success is being shaped by the decisions you make today. Not next year, not someday. Today. Every dollar is a choice. Every choice is a vote for the future you want. And the beautiful thing about money is that no matter where you start, you can begin improving your future right now. Small steps matter. Consistency matters. Patience matters. Because money doesn't grow because of luck. Money grows because of habits. And habits, unlike luck, are completely within your control. Thank you for watching. If you found this video valuable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And most importantly, share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because understanding how money actually grows could change someone's life. And maybe, just maybe, that someone is you.